was real steady. And like I said, back in the day, someone had a flow bench that was real slow pressure, real low pressure, and they created this valve shape that looks pleasing to the eye. So therefore, it looks pretty good on the dyno. Newfangled gadgets, isn't it? Hey, Jimmy, I know y'all laughing at me because I hung myself up. Let's see if I can get this to line up. Look at that. Be careful not to touch the phone. But I got that valve to almost line up with my drawing. How about that? But anyway, Bruce, Mo, Adrian. So anyway, back to my story. In reality, this added so much mass, so much weight, that the spring couldn't really control this valve to open and close it fast enough to make any power. Back in the day, 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe even longer ago, it was a really cool idea to come up with a valve shaped like this because it looked like it would flow a lot. And it probably did on some old archaic flow bench that only would show a 8-inch, 10-inch depression through the port and around the valve. So when you're running the air really slow, it turns nice, it goes around nice, all these things go around nice. But if you're got that bad boy on a hurricane pace where the air is coming in so fast and the engine, the piston's going up and down so fast and the valve's coming up and down so fast, that the flow bench is a tool that helps us answer a question, but it doesn't answer all the questions. So the shape and the size of the port is very, very important as well. Because on a 6,000 RPM engine, and you guys can double check me on the math, but don't stop watching to do the math, okay? But I got it figured out. I'm somewhere close. At 6,000 RPM average going down the racetrack on a Harley or some Chevrolet, Chrysler, Ford, Buick, or Jeep, maybe an Oldsmobile. 6,000 RPM average. Honda, Kawasaki, whatever. It's 6,000 RPM. That's 6,000 revolutions a minute. Divide it by 60 seconds, so you get 100 times a second. The valve, intake valve, goes up and down half of that. So I'm going to just say off the top of my head that the intake valve goes up and down 50 times a second. Now, I can't move this valve 2 times a second. I can't move it 10 times a second. But this valve is going up and down so fast in 1 second. And it has to seal 50 times a second. That's metric too, y'all, second. That right there is the same as metric. Did you know that metric people in the world use the same measurement as time as regular folks like we do in America? Yeah. A second. They use that in Australia, Germany, France. 50 times a second. Same measurement. I know I'm being stupid. But this valve has to seal on the seat of the head 50 times a second when you're averaging only